think just use somewhere niche and use somewhere that take advantage instead of trying to get away from it. And like Rico said, just like using the influence that we have and like just using all of the knowledge or everything that we have the melting pot of and just pushing it with that way.
Yeah, some of the craziest words in the world is just somebody saying that something wrong. Right? Like or the interpretation is totally different than what they're trying to interpret. So for instance, when you think about early Rolling Stones, they were studying Muddy Waters. They just didn't have any soul. So when they sang it, it sounded so new and fresh, but it just was a terrible impression of Muddy Waters. So that's why when they went on their first big tour, they invited Muddy Waters to open. They worshiped him. Now this guy had all this soul and funk and charisma, and they didn't have an ounce of it, but they just appealed to the audience, to the Anglo audience. So what they were trying to do, they could never do. So they created a style. And people felt like this was authentic rock and roll. No, they was copying rock and roll. The real rock and roll was Muddy Waters and all those guys back in the day from that up to the Stax Records, and they were trying to create that stuff. They couldn't do it.
Just a point there, you mentioned Max Martin, who with Dennis Pop would have had Curio Studios in Sweden. The third person in that trio was Herbie Critchlow, who's a Barbadian. And he co-wrote Quit Playing Games With My Heart and showed me the meaning of being lonely.
Wow.
And thank you, Rico Love, for mentioning Rolling Stones and the Beatles, because half of me feels at home when you mention that. Are there projects that you've produced, songs you've written, that weren't as successful as you thought they should be?
The favorite songs I've ever written are the ones that didn't perform the best. I wrote a song for Carrie Hilson called Energy that I thought should have been the biggest song in the world. It was more critical acclaim than it was hugely successful single. I think it peaked out at it didn't even crack the top 10. I think it peaked out at number 11. So that does well. That's a lot of spins, but when you want to hit, right? So, or I'll give a better example. I wrote if you guys get time, you should check these songs out. But I wrote a song for Brandy called No Such Thing as Too Late. And there's a song I wrote for her called Hardly Breathing. And those two songs on her 211 album, in my mind, I thought, these are the best songs I've ever written. And most people have never heard them. So it happens like that. It happens like that a lot.